Very good afternoon to all of you. How are you all? Very nice. Okay, so how many of you are the first attempters? Will be attempting 2017 for the first time? Quite a lot. And the discussion group also includes many students who have taken the test already? Yes? Okay. So I would like to hear from you who have already appeared for the prelims. Why are you here? Who've already attempted? Do you want to identify your weakest areas where you're falling short? Okay. Okay. So I'll be combining both the two strategies. I'll be also catering to those who have already appeared for UPSC prelims and for the freshers. So shall we begin? Okay. So the today's discussion plan would be why previous year's papers are important, the study or the revision plan. Lot of queries come on revision plan. What to read, importance of mock tests, how to solve MCQs. This would be the crucial area where you would like to know a lot of many things, and decoding the different subjects, right? Importance of previous year papers. Why? How many of you have already seen the papers? How do you see the papers? Just see them? Or do you infer anything out of them? How do you see the papers? Try to solve the questions. Okay. Then how to see the papers who've not even covered the prelim syllabus? What do you see in the papers who've not gone through the syllabus once? How do you see? Do you solve? How can you solve? See, there is a different way to see the papers. I'll be discussing on that. First of all, why we have to see the previous year papers? What does it tell us? The important topic areas, which are important in the eyes of UPSC, not in the eyes of you, but in the eyes of UPSC. The different trends, the nature of questions being asked. This year, what was the trend? Current affairs. Good. So when you're doing current affairs, how do previous year papers help you? Because topics don't get repeated, right? So how do you have to see them? Kind of questions, how deep they are going. All those things becomes very important. Say for example, in any scheme-based question which they have asked this year, what all characteristics they have asked, whether the beneficiaries have been asked or whether the objective has been asked. So when they are asking you objective-based questions, you have to give importance while reading schemes the objectives. If they are giving you or asking from you the beneficiaries involved, you have to see them. So it's just like a blueprint or a guide which you have to see while preparing any topic. Otherwise, you'll keep on reading them. You'll keep on reading Lakshmikant, you'll keep on reading newspaper, but you will never get to know what to read, right? I'll show you one example why previous year papers are important. Rowlatt Act or Rowlatt Satyagraha phase is known by everyone, right? Just see, in 2007, how they have asked this Rowlatt Act. Which one of the following aroused a wave of popular indignation that led to the massacre by the British at Jallianwala Bagh? A. Arms Act, B. Public Safety Act, C. Rowlatt Act, D. Vernacular Press Act. Now, I'm telling you the answer is C, the Rowlatt Act. But see the form in which they have asked. Similarly, in 2009, again they asked Rowlatt Act. See how differently they have put. Okay? Again Rowlatt Act in 2012. The Rowlatt Act aimed at A, compulsory economic support, B, imprisonment without trial, C, suppression of Khilafat movement, D, imposition of restrictions. In 2015, again Rowlatt Satyagraha. Are you seeing why UPSC papers are important? Same theme, but in different ways, which you've never analyzed while reading Rowlatt Satyagraha or Rowlatt Act, right? When you read Rowlatt Act, you read only the basic stuff. They ask you the applied part. You may be knowing everything about the objective, why it was imposed or why did it come, what all events took place in and around that period, but see how they are asking. This is why UPSC papers become very important in your prelims preparation. They are just inevitable. They are just inevitable, right? Okay. Study plan. Then how to study? Most frequently asked question, FAQ. How do you study? What is your study plan? Keep on reading books all the time, 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. What do you do? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So this is what one strategy is, the reverse engineering. First see the topic which you are going to read. Say in polity, you are going to read fundamental rights. Don't read fundamental rights as it is. First see the papers, see the type of questions, the way I saw you, made you see Rowlatt Act, and then go up through it. Otherwise, same lines would hover into your mind and you will revolve into only on those lines. You'll never be able to solve MCQs which is going to be asked by UPSC, right? So one could be, without having any information about the topic, first you see the papers and then you approach that topic, right? Other way could be, once you go through fundamental rights, then go through the questions, right? And then again ask yourself, where did you were not able to solve the MCQ? What was lacking into your preparation? By this way, you will be understanding yourself. When you read a topic, sometimes, see what happens is, in this whole discussion class, everyone reads modern Indian history, everyone reads newspaper, everyone reads polity, but few get selected. The reason being, every individual has a different way of learning things. And that would be your own style of learning. There can't be one way of learning things. If I tell you that go by plan A, that would not suit you, right? So you have a different way of understanding things. That is an individual style, right? So first you have to know how you react, how you read, and how you understand things. That part was lacking in your school education system. These things were not told to you. You were just given the book, you read it, and came in the examination hall to write the answer, right? So you never knew how you understand things. But here you have to know about yourself, right? So you're confused about the resources, you are listening to too many people, especially in Rajendra Nagar. यार ये पढ़ ले, ठीक है, ये नई बुक आई है, इसको ले लेता है, इसमें बहुत कंसाइज दिया हुआ है. All these things often come to you, and then a question mark comes. यार बिपिन चंद्र तो already is being kept, then why am I buying BL Grover or Plasty to partition? All these questions come. Avoid these kind of people first of all. ठीक है? Then, as I discussed, that different strategy, and there are different levels of understanding. You have to know your level of understanding. When you're doing revision, I'll separately talk about how revisions are to be done, but not insist on reading too many books, but the same book several number of times, along with UPSC questions. ठीक है? So, first thing which you have to understand about yourself is your own strength and weakness with respect to these subjects, right? No one can master science and tech. Everyone can master science and tech or what? No. That is not an interesting area for few. Geography may not be an interesting area for few, right? So you have to first identify your own strengths and weaknesses and then play on them. Getting my point? But there are 4 pillars of UPSC prelims preparation. One is polity. Why? Because one book understood by everyone and the nature of questions asked by UPSC is too direct. Right? Second one, geography. Stop at geography. Geography. Why geography? Although it may not be a comfortable area for many, right? But why geography is the second pillar? Large number of questions, right? Large number of questions asked by UPSC. Since you're preparing for UPSC and too many questions being asked in UPSC, from this section, you can't avoid it. You have to make yourself comfortable. And when I would tell you, and when these decoding of subjects would happen, when separate geography section would be taken, you will be also shown the fundamental being asked by UPSC. They are not going beyond your reach. The questions are framed from NCERT's basic. If your concepts are clear, you will be able to sail through it. Okay? Third pillar, economics. Why? An average number of questions, unlike this year, which was clubbed by with current affairs, otherwise an average number of questions. But again, the questions which are asked are very conceptual. It does not require any high-end understanding, but basic concepts which are required for you to become a civil servant. You should be knowing about CRR, repo rate, reverse repo. Unless and until you are not understanding this, then sorry, UPSC might not be a cup of your tea. ठीक है? So you have to be थोड़ा सा alert while choosing the subjects. So first is polity, second is geography, third is economics, fourth is history. Every history. Modern Indian history. Okay. The modern Indian history में what all sources do you read? Spectrum. चलो ठीक है. I'll come separately with to this modern Indian section. Current affairs. Now, current affairs, why? The X factor in UPSC preparation, which was never thought in this year prelims, that too many questions would be asked from current affairs, right? And your whole preparation strategy got upside down. You were all revising geography, you were all revising polity, but polity में से आए 3, geography में से आए 2, and your strategy failed. Why current affairs? Aren't they part of your preparation? Means, and okay, again this myth is to be busted. Some people think that for mains there is a different approach and for prelims there is a different approach. How many of you feel like this? No one? Everyone feels that prelims and mains preparation is integrated. Okay, good. Okay, yes. See, things which are going around the world or in India, you have to know them. But when it comes to prelims preparation, you have to know them specifically. A superficial idea won't do it or won't help you, unlike mains. In mains, you just have to deal with suggestions, analysis, and in prelims, you have to know the facts or the specifics behind that current affairs, right? So topic would be important both for both prelims and mains, but the facts which need to be there, which need to be kept in mind, are very important. And here comes the difference, right? So, revision plan. How many of you make short notes for your revision? How do you make them? Any one of you? Keywords. Okay, you just write keywords. Anyone else? How many of you make notes out of Lakshmikant polity? No one. Don't lie. See, making notes and revision are very important. But again, of which subjects and how to make notes is again a very important aspect which many people don't know, right? अब लक्ष्मीकांत से क्या ही notes बनता है? Everything is written very crisply, right? Nothing is exaggerated, nothing is explained. So how to make notes? Here comes your style of understanding. When you know from a different topic or a certain topic, you are not able to recall one fact or a fact which is very important and you are always forgetting, then make a note of it. And not what are the powers of the president, emergency provisions, again you are rewriting it. No. Revision means which you always forget or which is very important to be revised before the examination. That's it. You don't have to rewrite in short forms or rewrite a summary of what is already being given to you. Summary is not important for prelims. Summary is important for mains. For prelims, you need to know the specific facts which you always forget or which you feel that they are important to be kept in mind, right? Then combine your mock test series with your revision plan. How? How many of you take the test series? Okay. How do you utilize them? Hmm. Okay. Okay. So when you have to combine your revision with your test series or the test papers which you are attempting, how you do it? See, first, one topic is read and a question is given to you in a test series of that topic, and again you are not able to attempt it. There you might get an idea that, okay, this point I was not able to recall or was skipped. That means that point is your short note. Getting my point? That's how you combine your test series or utilize your test series papers with your preparation. If you're not doing it, only solving papers and not getting an idea what is your strength and weakness, you will fall short. You have to combine your test series with your revision plan, with your preparation plan. Getting my point, right? So you can use the post-its which come, that you can paste it in your book or you make a separate notebook. Okay? Last but not the least in this, minimize the stress. That's very important, right? I know there are a lot of things which are to be kept in your mind, but if you are over-stressing about this whole examination pattern, you will not be able to revise and not be able to recall things. Okay? What to read? What do you read? How many of you read Spectrum for modern Indian history? Okay, is Lakshmikant a guide or a standard textbook? It's a guide. It's not a standard textbook, right? It's just that Mr. Lakshmikant has made your life simpler, okay, by taking out a very nice book, right? So what are textbooks? Textbooks are which is prescribed in your school syllabus. Those are called textbooks. And come to think of it, why would UPSC frame a question from a guide? Will they ever frame a question from guide? Have you ever come across any question which is given in guide, so to say? Like B.L. Grover mein se kya, will they pick up a book and make a question? No. Why? What else? Uniformity across the nation. Yes, good. See, this examination is an all-India examination, right? So they want everyone to clear this examination. First of all, keep this thing from your mind that they are very selective. They are selective, they get selective because only few can pass their examination. Otherwise, they don't have any biasness or preconceived notions of taking in and out. ठीक है, मैं अभी इंटरव्यू की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, but of the prelims stage, where everyone is anonymous, right? No one's identity is open to them. Getting my point? So the questions which are made, they are made from standard textbooks so that the pan-India level of examination is maintained. So if anyone or any friend of yours is coming with a good book and you are lured by it, when you already have a standard textbook and your previous year papers and Google, keep one arm distance from that person. ठीक है? Otherwise, books would pile up in your room and you would not be able to study it. ठीक है? Newspaper. See, that's your call. How many newspapers you want to read? Again a question. Has UPSC recommended Hindu? Has it recommended कि आप Indian Express पढ़ लो, आपका मेंस क्लियर होगा? No? Has it given in their syllabus that the Hindu, the Indian Express, Live Mint, TOI पढ़कर ही आपका क्लियर होता है? No. So what are newspapers for? To just give you an information what is going around. Now it's your call from where to do it, how to do it. You will get the list of topics from one newspaper or maybe another newspaper, but topic ko prepare karna hai, not covering the newspapers. First thing. What all you do is, you cover the newspapers, you don't cover the topic. कि अभी मेरा हिंदू रह गया, आज मेरा इंडियन एक्सप्रेस रह गया, ऐसे नहीं होता है, right? So it's not prescribed by UPSC. It's a newspaper, news daily, which comes to you, and the topics which are there, you have to prepare. Getting my point? Okay. So one would be more than sufficient? नहीं, अगर no है, I am also agreeing with that. ठीक है? See, I am very realistic. Why? One newspaper से भी होता है, दो newspaper से भी नहीं होता है. So there is no one formula where you can get selected. Different people, different strategies, and different ways of becoming an IAS. That's it. Okay? You only have to cover the topic. Magazines. How many of you buy EPW, Yojana, Kurukshetra, every magazine? Every magazine possible, and then don't read them. Many of you, you don't see, it's just not impossible that you are reading so much in 1 month or 1 week or 1 day. It's just not possible. So you have to be realistic, right? Topic ko focus karo and not the magazines. You all are doing reverse. कि मुझे योजना खत्म करनी है. That shouldn't be the idea. That is just not the idea of UPSC. If any magazine or suppose Yojana has come on education topic, you cover that topic. Don't put a pressure into your mind that, oh, I have to cover Yojana. Just put a pressure on your mind, I have to cover education. Okay? These websites are very important. TIB, very important website. Very, very important website, even for your current affairs, even for your governance paper. Very important. For prelims, mark my words, if I get a chance to show you, many questions come directly from ministries' websites. Many questions directly from ministries' website. What you all don't do is that you don't go to specific websites, ministries, right? एक example देती हूँ how to do it. Go today at Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Few policies or schemes would be flashing, right? Click on those tabs and see what is given. Okay? They have just covered the most fundamental things which you should be knowing. You don't have to give a research on it. So when UPSC framers sit, some of them, they pick the ministry's website and then prepare a question. They don't pick Hindu, नहीं Hindu तो pick करते ही हैं वो खैर, ठीक है, but any other guide or any other reference material and then directly pick up a line. My point is, what I want to convey, to put it simpler, do visit them. Many questions, many facts directly come line by line in your prelims question paper. Okay? I'll show you one example, okay, later on. Importance of mock test. As I discussed with you briefly, that why mock test series is important is because of this. What all issues do you face? One is time issue, time constraint. Are you all able to complete the paper in 2 hours? Yes? No? So one is time for you. Second, how many of you get confused when 3 statements questions is given, you know 1 and not 2 and 2 or 1 is not known to you? How many of you face like this? Many, right? That's why this helps, right? What all issues do you face? Any other issue? One is time, one is getting stuck at the question. Third, okay, not being accurate, precision nahi aa raha hai. Then, when you sit for the exam, UPSC exam, how many of you come and say, ये तो silly mistake हो गई? Silly mistakes. It helps you to identify your silly mistakes. So if you're just going and sitting for UPSC prelims examination and not preparing yourself on these lines, you will always make those mistakes. Do you want to make that mistake and ruin your 1 year? No. You sit at home or solve the paper or you join a test series, but solving papers is inevitable. Especially in prelims, why? Every question counts, every silly mistake counts, every time which is wasted counts. And you cannot ruin your whole year for that. Okay? So this is why these things are important. If you're getting stuck at the question, if you have a risk-taking ability, your guesswork is good, mark those questions, what logic came to your mind when you took a guess and how it worked. Because your mind would remain the same. Your mind would react seeing the question the same way in UPSC examination hall as well. So you have to know about yourself, what is your risk-taking abilities, how many of you get your guess wala questions right or wrong. If someone has maximum right, go for it. For some people, guesswork don't work. For how many of you, guesswork don't work? For everyone else, it works. Good. So you'll all clear UPSC then. Okay. How to approach MCQs. This is very important. What type of questions come? What is the pattern of questions? One is these are statements-based questions, right? One is some statements would be given, right? And there would be no statements given. Matlab, an objective would be asked and you have to find the correct answer to it. Okay, one is this. The first line of the question is what you call as stem. Okay? I'll be telling you through questions only how to solve these MCQs. Then there is something called distractors. In the statements, UPSC throws certain distractors, and they are certain words like, which I call them as extreme words: all, no, only, never. Any other? Always. Any other? So they are called extreme words or absolute words, which whenever you see them in any of these statements given, be very alert. Very, very alert. Okay? Here comes your elimination technique. Okay? So first what you have to do, that you have to read the question very carefully. That is the stem. Then watch for these extreme words, which I have highlighted: all, no, only, never, always, and few. And then look for the distractor. Okay? Then what you have to do, especially in this question, in these type of questions, there will be two statements given which will be on similar lines. If similar lines are given or similar kind of statements would be given, that means the answer could be from those two. If there is no correlation between the statements, then those could be eliminated. I'll show you through an example. Okay? Then what else you have to look for is verbose statements. What are verbose statements? That means very wordy statements, which are very lengthy. Now, if lengthier statements are being given, in 2016 many lengthy statements were given, very big statements, right? So those statements, first you see the distractors. If it's there, then usually it would be wrong. And if they are lengthy, why would a framer make a lengthier statement? If it could be shortened, he could have shortened it. No, that means it's directly picked up. Getting my point? Understanding? If that word is not having a distractor, then you have to again read the question and solve them. Then they also have this habit of asking, which of the following is best described by? That means many similar statements would be given, similar options would be given, and you have to choose the best, which best suits that question. Okay? Those questions becomes very difficult. Okay. Don't take a blind guess. If blind guess works for you, then only you take it. Otherwise, skip it. Always have faith in yourself. There are many times when you have felt that my first intuition was right. Many times it has happened, no? First, whenever you see a question, you get this intuition. Yeah, ye answer hai. So always rely in your ability and yourself. What you all guys don't do is that having faith in your own abilities, your own past record. Okay, so don't get confused. See this question. You've all understood this? What was the purpose with which Sir William Wedderburn and W.S. Kane had set up the Indian Parliamentary Committee in 1893? D, A, B, C, D options are given. First tell me, what are the keywords which you have to see in the stem? The Purpose, second. Parliamentary committee, third. Year. Forget about the names. Many of you don't know them, no? Okay? So you don't have to get worried. What are the keywords? Purpose, parliamentary committee, and the year. Now out of these, we'll do an exercise. Give me one statement which can be eliminated outrightly. C. D. Who all are saying C? Why? Exactly. So one statement is eliminated, right? So C cannot be the answer. Now give me those statements which are having similar line of thought. A and D. What did I tell you? कि जो similar होंगी वही आंसर होगा. या तो आंसर is A or D. Whatever be the answer, ठीक है, आंसर is A and D में से ही है. You are getting me, right? You have eliminated C. There are two statements which are very similar, very close. Now here your guesswork would work. Who's lucky will get the right one. Who's not lucky would not get it. At least you are able to solve it and reach to a more closer answer. Right? Now you come here. Give me one statement which is there in any of the other acts. Trade. Third. I'm not asking you the answer. 3. Statement 3. Why? Under which act? 1773. It regulated the trade of East India Company. So if you are able to find out, you are eliminating two options. Two options, right? Even if you don't know it. If you know the acts which you always have to prepare and something is clicking in your mind to eliminate these, you have to reorient your mind to work on these lines. You all don't do this, right? You just see the question और बैठ जाते हैं, ये तो आता ही नहीं है. You don't have to behave like that. You have to always take a challenge to solve the MCQs. So third is eliminated. 1 and 2 is the answer. Okay? Now, this question, many of you don't know about it. Okay? Nahi pata, nothing, don't worry. Now give me the distractors. Where are the distractors hidden? Where is the distractor? There is no application of chemical, inorganic fertilizers at all in this. Now see the options. Don't read 1, 2 and 4. Okay? Just see the options. What are you understanding or inferring? If 3 is eliminated, there is only one option left. This is the answer. This is the answer. Okay? This is called common sense based questions which UPSC gives you. They look so wordy, bade, or an ऐसा initiative पूछा है which no one knows, but still you can attempt this. Last question of this technique. Where are the distractors? One and two distractors, right? Read the question, the stem, and then read the third statement. In the context of food and nutritional security of India, Enhancing the seed replacement rates of various crops helps in achieving the food production targets of the future. But what is or are the constraints in its wider implementation? So the question is asking you why it is not being implemented, what are the hurdles behind it. Read the third statement. It says there is a demand supply gap regarding quality seeds in case of low value and high volume crops. इसका मतलब क्या है कि a seed which is having very low value, low cost, but it gives maximum volume or output, there is a huge demand and supply gap. It is quite correct, right? Nothing is wrong in it. Now, if you are able to eliminate 1 and 2, the answer is, this is the official answer provided by the UPSC. ठीक है? But I want to put a disclaimer. Not every time this would work. ठीक है? ऐसा भी मत सोच लेना कि भाई नो आ गया तो मैं एकदम blindly I would mark it incorrect. These are questions that can be attempted where you don't have any idea. ठीक है? Where you can take certain level of risk. ठीक है? Decoding the subjects, I'll be taking history section and rest of the faculties would be taking separately geography, polity and environment and economics. Let's come to the first area, modern Indian history. The syllabus says history of India and Indian national movement. The syllabus is this much only for prelims. Okay? Okay. Now, 2013, 14, 15 and 16, an average comes of modern Indian history section, that is 6 to 7 questions every year, right? It is having a huge stake. Why? Although the number of questions are less, but they are very easy. Very, very easy in the past 2-3 years. Now see the question. Surat split, everyone reads it. It came in 2016. Very easy, very giveaway question. Nothing factual about it. Matlab, nothing great about it. Swadeshi and boycott, you will find it in your NCRTs. Very basic, 2016 ka question. Satya Shodhak Samaj, where are they playing? Just see where are they playing. Tribals in Bihar, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab. If someone knows sirf Maharashtra hai, answer aa gaya. These things you have to see in your previous year papers. How they frame the options. And still you get confused. Thoda sa you have to be alert. A little bit more alert and don't sit like this thing ki sab haath pair chhod diye, mere se to nahi ho raha question. Now, one type of question which they ask is chronology based question. Although they are not asking direct chronology, but indirect chronology. Now, if you read this question, the question says, the partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until. मतलब कब तक रहा था वो? Now, D तो होगा नहीं. D तो होगा नहीं ना partition of Bengal. मतलब पाकिस्तान partition of India तक तो नहीं रहा partition of Bengal, right? Now come to C. Will it last till that period? Annulment कब हुआ था? 1911. So if someone remembers 1911, forget about King George's abrogation. 1911 याद है? Answer है वो. An indirect chronology based question. Here also indirect chronology, these years were not given by UPSC, but this is how you have to do that. What caused the split? What contributed in the split in the Indian National Congress? Quit India to hoga nahi, 1907 mein split hua. So quit India cannot be the answer, C cannot be the answer, D cannot be the answer. The answer is A. Very easy, na? Now these are reason or cause based questions, ABCD format mein. The answer kuch bhi ho. Okay. The idea why we are carrying this exercise is to show you what type of questions come. Okay? So when you're reading any committee, when you're reading any movement, there are a lot of commissions being sent to ask for Indian support in the Indian national movement, चाहे वो Cripps mission है, चाहे वो Wavell plan है, you have to lay emphasis on this objective. ठीक है? Tebhaga peasant movement was for objective, only the objective. UPSC is not asking beyond objective in these kind of questions. So what are the standard sources? Start with your NCERT, then your Bipin Chandra, Spectrum. Again a disclaimer, it's my opinion. Spectrum is a guide. It depends on individual style of learning things. If someone is okay with only learning facts and looking at the facts, that person can go for Spectrum. Otherwise, this modern Indian history is a section which also comes in your mains, right? So anyways, you have to read Bipin Chandra for it. So why not for prelims? Okay? And I'll make you convinced that Bipin Chandra se direct questions aaya, and not from Spectrum. 2015, many questions were there which were not solved from Spectrum. One was this, very factual. Who of the following organized a march on the Tanjore coast to break the salt law in April 1930? This is a snapshot which I have cut to show you from Bipin Chandra. This line, C. Rajagopalachari led a salt march from Tiruchirappalli to Vedaranayam on the Tanjore coast. Question banana yahan se. See this question. Who of the following was or were economic critics of colonialism in India? Although the question was very easy. Why? अगर किसी को पता है दादा भाई नारोजी and R.C. Dutt 1 and 3, तो सिर्फ 1, 2 and 3 में तब भी हो जाता आंसर. But see the snapshot from Bipin Chandra. All these names were there. That is why Bipin Chandra. Rowlatt Satyagrah. This was one question which the statement 1 was not given in any of the book, be it your Spectrum or your NCERT. So where was it given? Placido partition पे तो मैं आई नहीं हूँ अभी, मैं तो बिपिन चंद्र पे ही हूँ. So it's getting into your head that Bipin Chandra is important for your prelims. It's a standard textbook which is being referred to make questions. ठीक है? So don't skip it. Now comes your Placido partition. How many of you have read it? Placido partition, Shekhar Bandyopadhyay. This is one book which is getting importance in UPSC papers. In UPSC papers, apart from civil services prelims. Okay? That means UPSC in their other papers is using this book. For example, in CAPF 2015 or 16, there was a question which was given where in Quit India movement, Karnataka method was there. It was in CAPF question. Now, how many of you have heard about Karnataka method? Those who have not studied Placido partition don't have any idea about Karnataka method. So this gives a calling that this book is getting importance in the eyes of UPSC. Now it's your call. ठीक है? For one question, you want to read the whole book, one or the two other questions or two questions, or you have an interest while reading Shekhar Bandyopadhyay's, those people can read that book. But if you ask me, modern Indian history is a section where a lot of easy questions come, and for one or two questions, if you don't have interest in history and you are able to solve your mains questions also without reading your Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, then you can also skip it. Okay? It's your own call. But it is being held in the eyes of UPSC as an important book now. If it has asked in CAPF or in any of the papers, CDS में भी पूछे थे 2 questions from that book, that means they can use it in your civil services prelims. ठीक है. We'll be doing now art and culture, ancient and medieval history. How many of you fear this portion? How many of you don't do medieval at all? ठीक है. Culture है ना syllabus में, that तो you know. Although the syllabus say history of India and Indian national movement, it has not specified clearly whether it includes ancient Indian history and medieval Indian history, but history of India means history of India. ठीक है. Art and culture. 2014, it was a huge jump from this section when UPSC asked many questions from this section. And then what happened was that you all started preparing in 2014 के बाद on culture, and in 2015 culture के questions did not come. ये भी UPSC करता है. ठीक है. तो ancient history on an average around 2 to 3 questions. Medieval Indian history, the trend is increasing, right? Now, how to deal with this changing and swinging trends of this section? Ancient Indian history. First, these are some of the important areas which you should know. Why prehistoric? Although the questions don't come in your prelims, but it has come in your mains on Mesolithic rock painting. ठीक है. Harappan civilization mains में भी आया है, prelims में तो आता ही है, right? Vedic age, yes, it's important. Mahajanpadas, religious reforms would include Buddhism, Jainism. Every year they ask a question from Buddhism, Jainism. Then Sangam age is important. Guptas, why? Because it was called as the golden age of Indian civilization or art and culture. Okay? So that's why these areas are very important. Specifically, religion and philosophy. Philosophy means that Samkhya, Vaisheshika, Buddhism, Jainism, Harappan, South Indian history is very important. Different styles of architecture, temples, that is also being asked. Terminologies based questions are being asked by UPSC. Now you will be seeing the questions. Now, in the history of UPSC, this question got repeated. Why? Was UPSC short of question? Was UPSC short of question? That it gave same question consecutively? What does it suggest? Can anyone tell me? What does it suggest? Importance of previous year papers, then importance given to official answer key. This was one question which was very debated, right? Lot debated on the online platforms that what could be the answer. फिर आप आंसर के पीछे पड़े हुए हो. आंसर डी नहीं है यूपीएससी के ऑफिशियल आंसर की में. अभी तक नहीं पता है. Come on guys. Twice it has repeated the question and you still don't know the answer. C is the answer. But can anyone tell me, is it the Ancient India book from where you will get the answer? NCERT? You no? Current affairs. Now, re-emphasizing the importance to see the ministry's website. This snapshot was there in the ministry's website. See the question asked and the pasted thing. Question is, which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? Right? Avanti, where is it? MP? Gandhar? Pakistan? Out of India? Kaushal? UP? Magad? Bihar. ठीक है. Which are the states? MP, out of India, UP and Bihar. Now see the snapshot. Birthplace of Lord Buddha's, 7 places of Buddha's life, right? So what does this mean? That means the life of Buddha is associated with these places from birth till death. That's what you mean? 7 places with associated with Buddha's life. Now you see what are the places given. Avanti is there, MP is there, anywhere? No? Gandhar is there? What is there? UP and Bihar? So what's the answer? Kaushal and Magad. ठीक है? Don't get scared. This is the R&D which Vision IS is providing you to show you the importance given to various websites, ministries, and how to reorient strategy, right? Associated with Buddha's life mean that the stages of life he has passed, those symbols associated with his life, lotus, wheel, dharma chakra parivartan, all these important phases which were there. देखो, बुद्धा को popularize different rulers ने किया था in different places, but that does not mean that he went there. There is a different meaning attached to what you interpret from the question. That's why UPSC gave the answer key and again repeated the question. ठीक है? नहीं तो आप लोग चले जाते सुप्रीम कोर्ट और रिट फाइल कर देते. And this is the inspiration. Although UPSC has not provided, that's what Vision IS has done for you. To make you realize the importance given to the government sources. ठीक है? So as I said, Buddha, Jain, all these questions get repeated. So you have to prepare this topic very nicely. Although all the things would not be given in your NCERT with respect to Buddhist philosophy or Jain, but now what you have to do is whatever have been given in UPSC previous year papers, be it CSP or CAPF or CDS, you have to find out what they have asked and then prepare that philosophy or religion. Okay? Otherwise it will become very difficult for you to understand these things. See, in 2014 again they asked Jain doctrine. 2014 Nirvana in Buddhism. 14 May again Indian philosophy. 13 Sankhya school philosophy. So this section is very important in the eyes of UPSC prelims. Now shall we come to medieval Indian history? Okay. Now medieval Indian history, what you have to do is that what is given in your mains as a syllabus? From ancient to the modern times, art forms, literature, architecture. ठीक है? Now, one strategy could be that give more emphasis while reading medieval Indian history to these aspects. ठीक है? One more, which is very important, socio-economic history of different phases. ठीक है? Especially जो terminology based questions आते हैं ना, what are agraharas, what is Mahatara and Pattakila, ये सब आपके NCERT में given है. That's why I'm emphasizing on the terms which are given, especially in your social and economic life. Socio-economic life. ठीक है? Bhakti Sufi movements are very important. It's being asked in UPSC mains, terminologies and the architectural styles, literature, art, everything. ठीक है? You don't have to read and learn the battles per se, but very important things. ठीक है? इस लाइन पे भी चल लोगे, many things or many questions can be attempted. Now 2014, this is a Bhakti Sufi question. In 2012, Sufi mystics, again Bhakti Sufi question. Terminologies based question which I was talking you about. In medieval India, the designations for Mahatara and Pattakila, it's not flashing over here. Mahatara and Pattakila were asked and the options were given. ठीक है? Ibadat Khana, architecture, Indo-Islamic architecture. So they are asking from architecture, right? So is this giving you a strategy to cover your medieval Indian history than skipping it altogether, right? So you don't have to read the whole book. Bhakti Sufi, socio-cultural history, religion, and the architectural styles or the art forms and literature and architecture. ठीक है? Now we come to art and culture. क्या पढ़ते हो आप लोग? CCRT. कोई गाइड? Any guide? Spectrum? Spectrum for culture? You read? नहीं नहीं, कुछ हो नहीं जाएगा. अच्छा है, you're reading it. That means you have an interest in reading culture, right? Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Important topics, you can note it down. The classical dances, mudras, paintings, tribal handicrafts, architectural styles. Again, you can go in this line only, but include the other cultural aspects like dance, music into this list. ठीक है? Paintings become very important. Okay, ये slides downloadable है. You can write it down. Dhrupad. It falls into which category? Music. 2012 में आया था ये question in prelims. Right? It is a difficult question? No? Okay. CCRT website is a source. Panchayatan style. It is directly from your NCRT. Introduction to Fine Art. ठीक है? The rock cut architecture. I told you, no, architecture. Directly from your CCRT website. देखो, एक चीज दिखाती हूँ. First line, second statement is saying the Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. ठीक है? Where is this line given? An inscription proves that this was excavated for the Ajivika sect in the time of Ashoka. Same line? CCRT website. Right? Again, reinforcing what I told you, that they are directly picking up the lines from the websites than any guide. ठीक है? Satriya dance. CCRT website. Every statement ka explanation you'll get it from here. Mudras, dance form Tribang, CCRT, NCRT. ठीक है? भरतनाट्यम कुचिपुड़ी में डिफरेंस, CCRT. तो sources, India yearbook also. Why? Because this question came on calendar and Mundak Upanishad in 2014 or 15, I don't clearly remember. So that was all only given in your India yearbook. Those chapters are given, no? First two chapters, national symbols, उसमें से भी questions get generated. ठीक है? They get framed. So keep it simple, keep it basic, keep it fundamental is what I'll say. Always rely on government ministries, government publications, than going here and there in the Rajendra Nagar market every evening to search for books and pile and make your room very untidy. ठीक है? Any questions? Specific questions? NCRT, Ancient India, R.S. Sharma, the old NCRT. The new ones you can also see. See, every NCRT is very important. That's what my call is about this section. Every NCRT is very important. Huh. Sorry, come again. I'm not able to hear. नहीं, notes बनाने ज़रूरी नहीं है. The most important things you can highlight it in your book and revise them. ठीक है? The things which I discussed earlier. If while solving a question of UPSC or any mock test series, you are able to find out that you've read it but you were not able to recall it, that thing can be noted down. ठीक है? Any other? हाँ. Health, education, finance, culture, Ministry of HRD. ठीक है? साइंस एंड टेक में देखो जो क्वेश्चंस प्रीलिम्स में आते हैं स्पेसिफिकली फॉर प्रीलिम्स, इट्स नॉट देयर इन योर साइंस एंड टेक का मिनिस्ट्रीज बट योर करंट अफेयर्स. साइंस एंड टेक इज होली और largely based on current affairs. So these ministries which have social implications or policy implications becomes very important. जैसे finance हो गया, HRD हो गया, फैमिली वेलफेयर हो गया, हेल्थ हो गया, ये सब इम्पोर्टेंट है. देखो आपको देखना पड़ेगा उसमें क्या इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन है. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, दैट विजिट देयर एफएक्यूज. अगर उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा जैसे ट्रिप्स और उसमें बहुत कंफ्यूजन होता है ट्रेड रिलेटेड इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, बट व्हेन यू विजिट मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स यू मे गेट अ मोर सिंपलर वर्जन ऑफ इट. ठीक है? एनीथिंग एल्स? हाँ. How to approach the ministries for the direct lines? See, it's a difficult question. For example, say this only, CCRT website. If you are reading dances wala tab, you happen to see classical dances first, right? So I'll give an example how to go about it. First thing, whether it's classical, folk, tribal, this distinguished categories should be clear in your mind of related to dance. Second, performers. Is it performed by only male or female? ठीक है? Then comes your inspiration. Is it dedicated to any god, faith, religion? जैसे if you happen to see Satriya dance, it is a centuries-old living tradition of Vaishnavites of Assam. So what is it asking? It's asking you this inspiration. ठीक है? Then what you can do is UNESCO heritage list, whether it's included in the UNESCO intangible cultural list or not. That also gives it more importance. If it's included, then it can be asked by UPSC. Okay? So on these lines you can prepare certain things. You have to see any topic from the eyes of UPSC. You can't read it whole. You will not be able to find out what is important, what is not important. That's why I started the session from why previous years are important, because they are the only guides which you can rely on to see and know how to prepare. ठीक है? Especially for prelims and even for mains, मतलब they are very important. Any other question? Why do you want to make notes पहले? अच्छा, देखो, उनको combine करना है with, how do I put it? Once you've gone through NCERT, it's very basic. Nothing would be left which is not given in your Bipin Chandra book. Once you get the idea in a summarized version into your mind that how did it led, who led the Satyagraha and everything about that. So then you go to Bipin Chandra. Bipin Chandra say you have to take out facts which are not there in your NCERT. Sorry? BL Grover? No. Complete no. Don't go for it unless and until it's your optional. For prelims, I've made you see the questions. Can't they be solved from NCERT and Bipin Chandra? That's why I showed it to you, to bust that myth or fear which is there in your mind, that what to read, what not to read. See, you have to keep it very simple. You have to attempt those questions and you have to have accuracy in those questions which are attemptable by all. Which are not attemptable by all will not be counted in your selection. Everyone would then be eliminated. Your first target should be in those questions you have to have accuracy where everyone knows everything about it or something about it. Bipin Chandra उठाकर थोड़ी वो questions बना रहे हैं. They are not making questions from Bipin Chandra. Oh, sorry, BL Grover. ठीक है? So don't go for BL Grover for your prelims. हाँ. Sufficient. NCERT, yes. For the beginners who have not studied, then they can read NCERT. History can be done with your Bipin Chandra. But Bipin Chandra is a technical book. You should not come directly onto it. हाँ. Okay. ठीक है, then it's fine. Anyone else? Last question. हाँ. Ministries. Ministries website. Cabinet Secretariat पढ़ो, Parliament पढ़ो, वहाँ से you will get the answer. हाँ. आप थोड़ा सा तेज बोलिए. अच्छा. बिपिन चंद्र. जून में है ना पेपर? नहीं देखो, देन फिर आप मेंस में कैसे पढ़ोगे 2 महीने में? You have to read it. You cannot attempt a question from spectrum in your mains. आप मेंस का क्वेश्चन नहीं सॉल्व कर सकते हो स्पेक्ट्रम पढ़कर सिर्फ. ठीक है, तो अभी तो आपके पास स्टिल यू हैव टाइम. हाँ, दैट्स लास्ट. हाँ. Medieval Indian History. It's NCERT Satish Chandra, class 11th or 12th, but old NCERT. ठीक है? Anyone else? Sorry? Current affairs. Current affairs for prelims. Yes, but do also visit ministry's websites. That's it. Current affairs से कैसे questions आ रहे हैं? अच्छा बताओ. Why we are categorizing our material in different sections? Polity. We have also given culture as well. Why? So that any current affairs theme which can be aligned with your current affairs and can be made as a question, you are searching on that. अब वो जो scheme which I showed it to you, the Swadesh Darshan scheme, was covered in your current affairs, right? So it was on you or your part that you should have visited websites ministry. ठीक है? Daily plan. It's your plan. It would be your plan. अगर मैं आपको कोई plan दूंगी, it cannot be applied to everyone. ठीक है, वो वाले क्वेश्चंस वी कैन हैंडल इट लेटर. देयर कैन नॉट बी वन प्लान फॉर एवरीवन. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर ओन दिस थिंग. ठीक है, या हाँ बोलो बोलो. Art and culture, it's as I told you, CCRT, Introduction to Indian Art, and your Ancient India, R.S. Sharma. ठीक है.